Hi, my name is Marilyn D'Souza.
I'm Laura Linehan.
And we are so excited to welcome you to our guided experiments. So guided experiments are just a fancy way of saying that we're going to be doing the experiments at school that you are doing at home. And so we're going to read off the instructions so you guys can follow along with us, because today is Science Day.
So to introduce science, we're going to be making elephant toothpaste, which is just a simple little experiment that you can do with things from around your house.
And so we have two very, very special guests. We have Barnaby Jr.
and Bulby.
And so these two mascots of ours will be around our videos. And so you have to look very hard in order to find them. And so that means you've got to be very, very vigilant.
Materials, you're going to need a clean 16-ounce plastic soda bottle, but in our case we're going to be using beakers since we're in a lab. 1/2 a cup of 20 volume hydrogen peroxide. You can find it at stores or in beauty salons. 1 tablespoon or a packet of dry yeast. 3 tablespoons of warm water. Liquid dishwashing soap. Food coloring, a small cup, and your safety goggles, because safety is important.
Yeah, so let's get started. And I know that we are following the instructions because, ladies and gentlemen, why do you think that instructions are really important to follow? So I know you guys have some ideas in your head, but in science, it's really important that you follow the instructions in order to get the outcome that you want. So in our case, we really want elephant toothpaste, so we need to follow the steps that they give us in order to get elephant toothpaste. So our next step is to get the 8 drops of food coloring. So in my case, I love the color pink, so I'm definitely going to pick pink. And so I'm going to add 8 drops, and we can count it together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have 8 drops of food coloring in there. And now we're going to move on to the next step.
So you're gonna take about 1 tablespoon of your dishwashing liquid, and you're gonna just put it into the bottle and swish it around for a little bit to mix it.
So we're gonna measure with you guys the 1 tablespoon.
Thank you.
So make sure to do this step carefully and carefully pour it into your bottle. And this part might be a little messy, so make sure you're careful. And if you want to put an extra tray underneath so that you don't make a mess at home, we would definitely want you to do that. So now we're going to take a cup and add that yeast we were talking about. So we're going to take that tablespoon of yeast, add it first. And now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of warm water. So we're also going to be doing some more measuring. So we're going to add 1. And then another. So make sure that you're stirring around. So we have a fancy thing called a stirring rod. So we're just going to stir really quick and have that added. And that's because yeast needs to be activated because it's a small little organism, and so it's a live thing that you can actually observe, and that's why it needs the water.
So now the adventure starts. You're gonna pour your yeast mixture into the bottle, and we're gonna watch the foaminess begin.
Added the yeast and the water, activated yeast and water. We're now gonna add the hydrogen peroxide. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Now the fun begins.
And isn't that just satisfying? Oh, it's coming over the
in
sides.
the middle.
So this is really, really fun to see because elephant toothpaste is such a big exothermic reaction. And so we want to talk a little bit about the science behind elephant toothpaste. So here's where the fun begins.
So the foam is special because each of the bubbles is filled with oxygen, which is something around us and that we breathe. And yeah.
We know that yeast are the one that we activated with the water is a catalyst, and a catalyst is just a fancy word of saying a helper. It makes the reaction go so much faster, and it removes the oxygen from this hydrogen peroxide that we used.
So since it did this really fast, it created a lot of bubbles, and you can see all the foam. This is called an exothermic reaction. As you can kind of tell if you're following along, the bottle gets a little bit warm, and that's a byproduct because it means that it created foam and heat at the same time.
Yeah, so if you put your hand closer, you can kind of feel some of that heat, and you can tell that it's an exothermic reaction. And this is a really nice project because none of the soap in the water is harmful. So if you take a sponge, you can easily clear up this table that you had a science experiment on. So thank you so much for watching with us. We are so excited to have you following along with our guided experiments. Make sure to take a picture of what you've created, your elephant toothpaste and the color it came out to be, and post it using the hashtag CGSteamFair. Ask your parents for help with that entry. And if you're wearing green, make sure to take a picture of yourself wearing green. And if you take both pictures and use that hashtag, you get 2 entries into our raffle prizes. So thank you so much for watching. Get excited for science!